The Galactic Council erupted into chaos as news of Austin Coleman's faster-than-light propulsion system reached the assembled representatives. Murmurs of disbelief and shock echoed through the chamber. "Impossible," Raxor muttered, his eyes fixed on the holographic display detailing Coleman's revolutionary design. The Trill ambassador had dedicated his life to the study of advanced physics, yet the elegance and ingenuity of the human's work left him astounded. Around him, the council members, hailing from the most technologically advanced civilizations in the galaxy, struggled to comprehend the implications of humanity's sudden leap forward. For centuries, the Galactic Council had dismissed humans as a primitive, unremarkable species, barely worthy of attention. But now, as Coleman's discovery promised to reshape the very fabric of interstellar travel, they found themselves forced to confront their long-held biases. The human scientist had not only unlocked the secrets of faster-than-light travel, but had done so by harnessing exotic matter and manipulating space-time itself, feats that had eluded even the brightest minds of the council races. As the initial shock wore off, the chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices. Some, like the Zephyrians, expressed admiration for human ingenuity and saw potential for collaboration. Others, such as the Kragarians, viewed humanity's rapid advancement as a direct threat to their own technological dominance. Tension crackled through the air as factions formed, each vying to control the narrative surrounding humanity's breakthrough. Back on Earth, Coleman and his team worked tirelessly to refine the FTL drive, knowing that their discovery had the potential to change the course of human history. News of their achievement had already spread like wildfire, igniting a global frenzy of excitement and speculation. In a matter of days, a coalition of nations had pooled their resources and begun construction on a fleet of FTL-capable ships, determined to seize the opportunity to explore and expand into the cosmos. The stakes had never been higher. The decisions made in the coming days would determine whether humanity would rise as a major player on the galactic stage or face the wrath of entrenched alien powers, desperate to maintain their supremacy. As the UES Prometheus descended through the atmosphere of TRAPPIST-1E, Commander Ethan Reeves gazed out the viewscreen at the vibrant, untouched landscape below. Lush forests and sprawling grasslands stretched to the horizon, punctuated by the glimmering threads of rivers and lakes. The sight filled him with a sense of awe and purpose. This was the beginning of a new chapter for humanity, a chance to establish a foothold beyond the confines of their home system. The landing site, chosen for its proximity to a rich vein of resources and a stable water source, bustled with activity as the colonists set to work, erecting prefabricated structures and unloading essential supplies. Reeves oversaw the operation with a keen eye, ensuring that every task was carried out with precision and efficiency. They had no room for error. The success of the colony depended on their ability to adapt and thrive in this alien environment. As the days turned into weeks, the colony began to take shape. HAB modules dotted the landscape, connected by a network of walkways and transport tubes. The colonists worked tirelessly, driven by a shared sense of purpose and the knowledge that their efforts would pave the way for future generations. But even as they celebrated their progress, an unexpected discovery threatened to upend everything they had worked for. It was Dr. Lena Sorensen, the colony's lead xenoarchaeologist, who first stumbled upon the ruins. Hidden beneath the dense foliage of a nearby forest, the ancient structures bore the unmistakable hallmarks of an advanced civilization. Towering spires of an unknown alloy reached skyward, their surfaces etched with intricate alien glyphs. As Sorensen and her team delved deeper into the ruins, they found evidence of a society that had mastered technologies beyond anything humanity had yet achieved. News of the discovery spread like wildfire through the colony, sparking a mix of excitement and trepidation. The implications were staggering. If this civilization had once thrived on TRAPPIST-1E, what had become of them? And more importantly, were they truly gone, or did their descendants still lurk somewhere in the shadows of the system? Reeves knew that the discovery would not go unnoticed by the Galactic Council. He had barely finished drafting his report when a sleek, alien vessel broke through the clouds above the colony, bearing the unmistakable insignia of the Council's diplomatic corps. The ship touched down on the outskirts of the settlement, and a delegation led by Ambassador Raxor and his aide Lyra emerged to greet the human colonists. Reeves met the delegation with a mixture of caution and curiosity. He had heard of the Council's dismissive attitude toward humanity, and he was determined to prove that his people had earned their place among the stars. As he led Raxor and Lyra on a tour of the colony, he couldn't help but feel a swell of pride at the ingenuity and resourcefulness displayed by his fellow colonists. In the days that followed, the human settlers and the Council envoy engaged in a series of scientific exchanges and demonstrations. Reeves and his team showcased their mastery of the FTL drive, detailing the intricacies of the technology and how they had adapted it to the unique challenges of the TRAPPIST-1 system. Raxor, initially skeptical, found himself increasingly impressed by the depth of human knowledge and their ability to innovate in the face of adversity. But even as the two groups found common ground, a new mystery began to unfold. The colony's long-range sensors detected unusual energy signatures emanating from an uncharted region of the system, hinting at the presence of an unknown power source, or perhaps something more sinister. Reeves, unwilling to ignore the potential threat, approached Raxor with a proposal for a joint investigation. To his surprise, the ambassador readily agreed. Raxor had come to recognize the value of human ingenuity and saw the collaboration as an opportunity to learn more about their capabilities. Together, they assembled a team of the colony's brightest scientists and set out to uncover the truth behind the energy signatures. As the joint team ventured deeper into the uncharted reaches of the TRAPPIST-1 system, they were unaware of the growing tensions back on Earth and among the Galactic Council. Forces were mobilizing on both sides, driven by ambition, fear, and the desire to control the future of humanity's place in the galaxy. The discoveries made by Reeves and Raxor's team would soon become the catalyst for a conflict that could reshape the balance of power across the stars. The UES horizon sliced through the inky void of space, its sleek hull glinting in the light of distant stars. Commander Reeves stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed their destination. An uncharted region of the TRAPPIST-1 system where mysterious energy signatures had been detected. "We're approaching the coordinates," Lieutenant Sarah Chen announced, her fingers dancing over the control panel. "Sensors are picking up a large structure ahead." Reeves nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He glanced at Ambassador Raxor, who stood beside him with an unreadable expression on his alien features. "This is unprecedented," Raxor murmured, his multifaceted eyes gleaming. "No known civilization has ever established outposts this far from the galactic core." As the horizon drew closer, the structure came into view. It was a massive installation, its dark metallic surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer and shift in the starlight. Reeves felt a chill run down his spine as he realized the true scale of the discovery. "Bring us in closer, Lieutenant," he ordered. "Prepare an away team." Within the hour, Reeves found himself leading a small group through the cavernous halls of the ancient outpost. Dr. Liam Hoffman walked beside him, his eyes wide with wonder as he scanned every surface with his handheld device. Lyra, Raxor's aide, followed close behind, her slender form moving with a grace that belied her alien physiology. "The energy readings are off the charts," Hoffman whispered, his voice filled with awe. "This technology, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered." They entered a vast chamber filled with rows of towering, crystalline structures. At the center stood a pedestal, upon which rested a small, iridescent cube. Hoffman approached the pedestal, his hands trembling with excitement. "This must be it," he breathed. "A data storage device." As he carefully lifted the cube, the chamber hummed to life. Holographic displays flickered into existence around them, filling the air with streams of alien text and complex diagrams. "By the stars," Raxor gasped, his stoic demeanor cracking. This is a quantum resonance drive." Hoffman's eyes widened as he absorbed the information before him. "It's incredible," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "This technology could revolutionize space travel. It makes our FTL drive look like a child's toy in comparison." Reeves felt a weight settle in his chest as he realized the implications of their discovery. "We need to secure this information and get it back to Earth immediately," he said, his voice firm. The UESA needs to know about this. As they prepared to leave the outpost, Reeves couldn't shake the feeling that they had stumbled upon something that would change the course of human history. Little did he know that light years away, in the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, the ripples of their discovery were already being felt. Zoltar, the Kragarian ambassador, paced in his private quarters, his scaled skin rippling with agitation. He had just received word of the human-led expedition's findings, and his mind raced with the potential consequences. "This cannot be allowed to stand," he hissed to his assembled allies. "If the humans gain control of this technology, our position in the galaxy will be threatened." The other ambassadors nodded in agreement, their faces etched with concern and fear. "We must act quickly," Zoltar continued, his eyes narrowing. "We'll form a covert team to infiltrate the outpost and retrieve the quantum resonance drive schematics. And if we can't have them, no one will." As the clandestine meeting concluded, the wheels of galactic politics began to turn. The race for the quantum resonance drive had begun, and the fate of humanity's place among the stars hung in the balance. Commander Reeves rubbed his temples, staring at the encrypted message from Earth. The UESA's warning about potential infiltrators sent a chill down his spine. He glanced out the window at the bustling colony, now a hive of scientific activity centered around the quantum resonance drive. "Dr. Hoffman, a word!" Reeves called, spotting the scientist hurrying past his office. Hoffman entered, his eyes bright with excitement. "Commander, you won't believe the progress we've made. The quantum entanglement properties of the drive are—" Reeves held up a hand. "We have a security situation. Earth believes Kragarian operatives may have infiltrated the colony." Hoffman's face fell. "But how? We've been so careful with—" A thunderous explosion rocked the building, cutting him off. Alarms blared as smoke billowed from the direction of the main research lab. "Security teams converge on the lab complex." Reeves barked into his comm as he and Hoffman raced down the corridor. They arrived to find chaos. Equipment lay in smoldering ruins, and colonists stumbled out coughing. Through the haze, Reeves spotted a group of unfamiliar figures in environment suits slipping away with stolen data cores. "There!" he shouted, drawing his sidearm. "Stop them!" The infiltrators turned, revealing reptilian features beneath their masks. They opened fire with advanced energy weapons, forcing Reeves and the security team to take cover. "This is madness!" Lyra's voice rang out as she pushed through the crowd. "Dr. Hoffman, your reckless experiments caused this. I'm taking control of this project for the Council's safety." Hoffman gaped at her. "What? Lyra, can't you see we're under attack?" She ignored him, striding toward the lab's main computer. "By Council authority, I'm locking down all research data until a full investigation." A stun bolt from a Kragarian weapon struck her mid-sentence. As she crumpled, the true nature of the attack became clear. "Protect the drive schematics," Reeves ordered, leading a charge against the retreating infiltrators. The firefight spilled out onto the colony's main thoroughfare. Civilians screamed and ran for cover as energy bolts crisscrossed the air. The Kragarians moved with military precision, using the panicked crowd as cover. Reeves's security teams fought valiantly, but they were outmatched by the alien commandos' advanced weaponry. Several colonists fell, caught in the crossfire. "This is Reeves to all stations," the commander broadcast. "We are under attack by hostile forces. Initiate emergency protocols. All non-essential personnel, evacuate to secure shelters immediately." As the battle raged, Dr. Hoffman raced back to what remained of his lab. He found his team frantically trying to salvage data from the damaged systems. "It's gone," one of the scientists said, her face ashen. "Weeks of work, all our progress on the quantum mechanics. Some kind of virus has corrupted everything." Hoffman slumped against a scorched console. "We'll have to start over from scratch," he muttered, then straightened with new hope. "But we will start over. We can't let them win." Outside, the sounds of combat began to fade as the Kragarian forces made their escape. Reeves coordinated with orbital defenses, but the infiltrators had clearly planned their exfiltration well. In the aftermath, as medical teams tended to the wounded and damage control efforts began, a palpable tension settled over the colony. Angry murmurs spread among the colonists. many casting suspicious glances at the few alien residents. Reeves knew he had to act fast to prevent the situation from spiraling further out of control. He opened a channel to Earth, his expression grim. "UESA Command, this is Commander Reeves. We've suffered a major attack, requesting immediate reinforcements and implementation of enhanced security protocols across all off-world facilities. I fear this is only the beginning." As he spoke light years away, Ambassador Raxor stood before the Galactic Council. His impassioned voice echoed through the Grand Chamber. "Esteemed members of the Council, we stand at a crossroads. The actions taken against our human allies today threaten not just their progress, but the very fabric of galactic peace. We must unite against this aggression, or risk plunging our civilizations into chaos." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Several council members nodded in agreement, while others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The alliances that had held firm for centuries began to fracture before Raxor's eyes. In the shadows of the chamber, Zoltar watched with narrowed eyes, his scaled fingers drumming against his chair. The real war, he knew, was just beginning. Zoltar's eyes narrowed as he absorbed Raxor's words. The chamber fell silent, tension thick in the air. "You speak of power beyond imagination, old friend?" Zoltar hissed, his scaled fingers tightening on the arm of his chair. "Yet you fail to see the danger. Humans are children playing with fire." Raxor stood his ground. "Perhaps, but they have shown remarkable aptitude. With guidance—" An urgent comm signal interrupted their exchange. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a harried human officer. "Ambassador Raxor, we have a situation. The expedition—" Light years away, Lieutenant Jake Bowman crouched behind a makeshift barricade, plasma bolts sizzling overhead. The expedition's research vessel, once a beacon of interspecies cooperation, now resembled a war zone. "Hold the line!" Bowman shouted, returning fire at the Kragarian assault team. "Dr. Hoffman needs more time." In the ship's lab, Hoffman and Lyra worked feverishly, their fingers flying over holographic displays. Equations and simulations swirled around them, a symphony of quantum mechanics and theoretical physics. "We're close," Hoffman muttered, his eyes darting between screens. "The particle's quantum flux field. If we can just—" A violent tremor rocked the ship. Alarms blared. "Hull breach in Section 4!" A panicked voice echoed over the comms. Lyra's multifaceted eyes widened. "Liam, look!" On their main display, a swirling vortex of energy had appeared near the anomalous black hole. It pulsed and writhed, defying the laws of physics. Hoffman's jaw dropped. "That's impossible. It's a micro-wormhole. But how?" Before they could process the implications, the lab doors hissed open. Bowman stumbled in, his armor scorched and smoking. "We're out of time," he growled. "Kragarian forces have breached the outer defenses. We need to evacuate now." Hoffman shook his head. "We can't leave. Not when we're so close. This wormhole, it changes everything." Bowman grabbed the scientist's arm. "There won't be any breakthroughs if we're all dead or captured." A new voice crackled over the comms, calm and authoritative. "This is Commander Reeves. All personnel, prepare for emergency jump. We have friendlies inbound." Through the lab's viewport, sleek ships of unfamiliar design suddenly materialized. They engaged the Kragarian forces with devastating precision. "Who are they?" Lyra whispered. As if in answer, the micro-wormhole pulsed again. This time, a message scrolled across their screens in an alien script that shifted and rearranged itself into English. "Your trial begins. Prove yourselves worthy." Hoffman, Bowman, and Lyra exchanged stunned looks. The battle outside raged on, but now they faced a new challenge, one that would test humanity's readiness to wield the power of the quantum resonance drive. The message on their screens pulsed, its alien script shifting and reforming. Hoffman's eyes widened as he deciphered its meaning. "Your trial begins. Prove yourselves worthy." Before he could react, a massive vessel shimmered into existence beyond the viewport. Its sleek, opalescent hull defied conventional design, seeming to bend the very fabric of space around it. "By the stars," Lyra breathed, her multifaceted eyes reflecting the ship's ethereal glow. A beam of light enveloped their lab, and Hoffman felt a strange tingling sensation. In an instant, he, Lyra, and Bowman found themselves standing in a vast chamber, unlike anything they'd ever seen. Crystalline structures pulsed with energy, and holographic displays danced through the air. At the center stood a group of beings that could only be described as transcendent. Their bodies shimmered with an inner light, and their eyes held the wisdom of eons. One of the beings stepped forward, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "We are the Zaledran. You have taken your first steps into a larger universe." Hoffman's scientific curiosity overrode his awe. "You created that micro-wormhole? How?" The Zaledran's eyes twinkled with amusement. "That, Dr. Hoffman, is precisely what we intend to show you." As if on cue, the chamber transformed. Stellar cartography unfurled around them, revealing the vastness of the cosmos in breathtaking detail. The Zaledran guide gestured, and a shimmering portal opened before them. "Come," it said, "your education begins now." They stepped through the portal and emerged on a world of impossible beauty. Crystalline spires stretched towards twin suns, and the very air seemed alive with possibility. "Welcome to Astralis," the Zaledran announced. "Our sanctuary, and now your classroom." Over the following weeks, Hoffman and his team underwent an intensive mind-sharing process with their alien benefactors. It was grueling, often leaving them mentally exhausted, but the knowledge they gained was beyond anything they could have imagined. Lyra found herself drawn to a Zaledran mentor named Mireyanal. As their minds intertwined during the sharing sessions, Lyra felt her perspective expanding. The petty conflicts that had driven her people for generations seemed insignificant compared to the cosmic vistas the Zaledrans unveiled. One day, as they took a break from their studies, Lyra confided in Mireyanal, "I've spent my life believing in the superiority of my people, but now I'm not sure of anything anymore." Mireyanal's mental voice was gentle. "Growth often requires the shattering of old beliefs. Embrace the uncertainty, for it is the first step towards true wisdom." Meanwhile, Hoffman threw himself into his work with renewed vigor. The Zaledran's knowledge, combined with his own human intuition, led him down paths of theoretical physics he'd never dreamed possible. As he pored over a complex set of equations, something clicked. "That's it!" he exclaimed, startling Bowman, who had been keeping watch nearby. Hoffman's fingers flew across the holographic interface, inputting a series of calculations. "I've cracked it, Jake. A new subspace metric tensor theory. This could be the key to controlled wormhole generation." Bowman raised an eyebrow. "In English, Doc?" "We're about to change everything," Hoffman replied, his eyes gleaming with excitement. In a specially prepared chamber, Hoffman and the Zaledrans put his theory to the test. Energy crackled through the air as they manipulated exotic quantum fields. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a blinding flash, a stable wormhole sprang into existence. Through its swirling maw, they could see a region of space light years away. As news of their achievement spread across civilized space, the political landscape shifted dramatically. On the Galactic Council, Zoltar's alliance crumbled in the face of humanity's cosmic leap forward. Ambassador Raxor seized the moment, his voice ringing out in the council chambers. "We stand at the dawn of a new era. Let us cast aside our differences and form a multiversal union, with humanity and the Zaledrans lighting our path to the stars." As the council erupted in debate back on Astralis, Hoffman stared into the depths of the wormhole he had helped create. The universe had just become a much bigger place, and humanity's journey was only beginning. Humanity's journey was about to take an unprecedented leap forward. Months after the breakthrough, a gleaming vessel stood ready in the orbital shipyards above Earth. The MVES Pathfinder, first of its class, represented the pinnacle of collaborative engineering between humanity and their new allies. Commander Ethan Reeves strode down the gangway, his eyes drinking in every detail of his new command. Lieutenant Jake Bowman fell into step beside him. "She's a beauty, sir," Bowman said, his voice tinged with awe. Reeves nodded. "And she's going to take us further than anyone's ever gone before." The ship bustled with activity as the final preparations were made. Dr. Hoffman worked alongside Zalidran scientists, fine-tuning the wormhole generation systems. Lyra coordinated with representatives from a dozen species, ensuring smooth integration of their various technologies and protocols. As the launch countdown began, Reeves addressed the assembled crew. Today we embark on a journey that will redefine our understanding of the cosmos. The multiversal union has placed its trust in us. Let's make history. With a low hum that built to a crescendo, the Pathfinder's drives engaged. The artificial wormhole blossomed before them, a swirling vortex of possibility. Reeves gave the command, "Take us in!" The transition was smoother than anyone had expected. One moment they were in familiar space. The next they emerged into a starless void, billions of light years from home. "Deploy survey probes," Reeves ordered. "Let's see what's out here." As data began streaming in, the bridge crew fell silent. The readings defied comprehension. "Sir," the sensor officer reported, her voice hushed, "we're detecting structures on a scale I've never seen before." Hoffman leaned over the console, his eyes wide. "It's not just structures. Look at these topological anomalies. Someone's rewriting the laws of physics out here." The Pathfinder pressed deeper into the void, its powerful sublight drives carrying them towards the source of the anomalies. Then they saw it. A ring of impossible scale surrounded a supermassive black hole, its surface etched with patterns visible even from millions of kilometers away. "By all that's holy," Reeves breathed. Mirayanal, the Zalidran elder, stepped forward. "We must make contact. This is why we were brought here." Shuttlecraft were prepared. Hoffman, Lyra, and a team of specialists accompanied Mirayanal to the surface of the ring structure. As they touched down, the true scale of the megastructure became apparent. Lyra's multifaceted eyes struggled to process what she was seeing. "This can't be real," she whispered. But it was real, and as they stepped onto the surface, they were greeted by beings that defied description. The architects, as they called themselves, existed as pure intellect, their thoughts dancing through the very fabric of space-time. "Welcome," a voice resonated in their minds. "We have awaited this moment for eons." The architects began to share their knowledge, opening the minds of Hoffman, Lyra, and the others to new modes of perception. It was overwhelming, exhilarating, and terrifying all at once. As the expedition grappled with the implications of their discovery, tensions rose back in known space. Zoltar, his influence waning but not extinguished, railed against the contact. "This is the end of all we know," he snarled to his remaining followers. "We must act now or be swept aside by forces beyond our control." In orbit around the ring structure, Reeves received an urgent transmission from Union Command. Zoltar's forces were massing, threatening the wormhole nexus that connected them to home. The commander's eyebrows furrowed. They had discovered wonders beyond imagination, but now they faced a choice that would shape the future of all sentient life. Reeves turned to his crew, his voice firm. "Prepare for action. We're not letting anyone sever our connection to this new frontier." As the Pathfinder's engines flared to life, the fate of two realities hung in the balance. The Pathfinder's engines roared to life as Commander Reeves initiated their return to the wormhole nexus. As they traversed the vast cosmic distances, Reeves' mind raced with tactical possibilities. "Lieutenant Bowman," he called out, "prep our elite marine units. We're going to need every trick we've learned from the Zalidrans." Bowman nodded, his fingers flying over the tactical display. "Already on it, sir. I've got some ideas that might just catch Zoltar off guard." As they approached the nexus, the scene unfolded before them. Zoltar's depleted forces swarmed around the installations, their weapons flaring against the reinforced defenses. Reeves' voice rang out across the command deck. "All hands, battle stations? Zephyrian warriors, take up your positions. We're going in hot." The Pathfinder dove into the fray, its advanced shields deflecting enemy fire. Bowman coordinated the counterattack, his strategies a blend of human ingenuity and Zalidran wisdom. "Echo Team, execute maneuver Zeta 9, Bowman ordered. "Zephyrian Squad, flank and pin." The battle raged across the Nexus installations. Human marines in sleek exosuits danced between enemy ships, their movements fluid and unpredictable. Zephyrian warriors unleashed devastating psychic attacks, sowing confusion among Zoltar's forces. Amidst the chaos, sensors picked up a lone shuttle attempting to slip past their defenses. Reeves' eyes narrowed. That's Zoltar. He's making a run for the main Nexus control. Not if I can help it, Bowman growled, launching himself towards an assault craft. The lieutenant's team intercepted Zoltar's shuttle just as it touched down. The Kragarian ambassador emerged, desperation etched on his face as he realized he was surrounded. It's over, Zoltar, Bowman said, his weapon trained on the fallen diplomat. Back at the megastructure, Hoffman and Lyra found themselves undergoing a profound transformation. The architect's guidance reshaped their very beings, their consciousness expanding beyond physical form. Hoffman felt his thoughts intertwining with the fabric of space-time itself. Lyra, he called out, his voice now a resonance of pure energy. Are you experiencing this? Lyra's response came not in words, but in a burst of shared perception. They were becoming something more, their individual selves merging into a greater whole. Not everyone embraced this metamorphosis. Talira, the brilliant Zephyrian scientist, recoiled from the process. This isn't right, she projected, her psychic abilities flaring in resistance. We're losing ourselves. As Hoffman and Lyra ascended into new states of being, Talira rallied those who shared her fears. We need to leave now, she urged, her voice tinged with panic. Before it's too late. A rift formed among the expedition members. Some, like Hoffman and Lyra, surrendered to the transformation, their forms becoming indistinct as they merged with the architect's meta-consciousness. Others followed Talira, rushing towards the remaining wormholes in a desperate bid to maintain their individual identities. As the last of the holdouts escaped through the flickering portals, the megastructure pulsed with newfound energy. The beings that were once Hoffman and Lyra were now part of something far greater. Their understanding of the universe expanded beyond mortal comprehension. In Union space, news of these events spread like wildfire. Debates raged across every world and station. Some saw it as the next step in evolution, a chance to transcend mortal limitations. Others viewed it as an extinction event, the end of biological sentience as they knew it. The multiversal union found itself at a crossroads. As the silent wormholes stood as gateways to divergent futures, leaders grappled with an unprecedented decision. Embrace the path of ascension and unity with the architects, or chart a separate course for biological life. As the galaxy teetered on the brink of this momentous choice, the captured Zoltar found himself facing the consequences of his actions. Standing before the Galactic Council, he watched as everything he had built crumbled around him. The once proud Kragarian stood in chains, his scaled skin dulled by confinement. Zoltar of Kragaria, intoned the council elder, you stand accused of high crimes against the multiversal union. How do you plead? But before Zoltar could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. Counselors of a dozen species looked around in confusion as holographic displays flickered to life. We're receiving an emergency broadcast from the Pathfinder expedition, announced a technician, her fingers flying over the controls. The image dived into Commander Reeves's face, his expression grim. Council, we've made contact with an ancient race called the Architects. They offer unimaginable knowledge, but at a cost. They're asking us to merge our consciousness with theirs. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the assembly. Reeves continued, his voice tight. We're divided. Some, like Dr. Hoffman and Ambassador Lyra, have already begun the process. Others are refusing. We need guidance, and we need it now. The council erupted into chaos. Some demanded immediate recall of the expedition. Others argued for embracing this new evolution. As the debate raged, Zoltar's eyes gleamed with a dangerous light. Back on the megastructure, Hoffman felt his physical form dissolving, replaced by pure energy and thought. It's beautiful, he whispered to Lyra, their consciousnesses intertwining. Not far away, Lieutenant Bowman watched in horror as his comrades began to change. This isn't right, he growled. backing away from the shimmering field of energy that had once been Hoffman. Commander Reeves strode up, his face set in steadfast perseverance. "We're leaving, Lieutenant. Now!" As they turned to go, Talira, the Zephyrian scientist, fell into step beside them. "I can help," she said, her psychic abilities flaring. "I can shield us, but we have to move quickly." They raced for the shuttles, gathering those who resisted the transformation. Behind them, more and more of the expedition surrendered to the architect's call. In Union space, Zoltar saw his chance. As the council bickered, he caught the eye of a sympathetic guard. A moment later, alarms blared again, this time signaling a prisoner escape. Zoltar sprinted through the corridors, his mind racing. He had to reach his remaining followers, had to stop this merging before it was too late. As chaos engulfed both the council and the far-flung expedition, the fate of sentient life hung in the balance. Two paths diverged, one leading to a transcendent unity, the other clinging fiercely to individuality. And in the shadows, Zoltar plotted to ensure that neither future would come to pass. The wormhole collapsed behind them with a silent flash, leaving Commander Ethan Reeves and his ragtag fleet adrift in uncharted space. On the bridge of the DSS Endeavor, Reeves squeezed the armrests of his command chair, his squeezing hard. "Status report," he barked. Lieutenant Bowman's voice crackled over the comm. "Sir, we've got multiple hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Engineering reports our warp drive is offline. Life support systems are holding, but barely." Reeves nodded grimly. "What about the rest of the fleet?" "They're in similar shapes, sir. The Zephyrian cruiser Starfire is venting atmosphere. We're looking at half rations across the board if we want to stretch our supplies." A chime from the science station drew Reeves's attention. Talira, the Zephyrian scientist, stood rigid, her luminescent skin pulsing with agitation. "Commander," she said, her voice tight, "long-range scans are detecting no signs of inhabited systems within reach. We are truly alone out here." Reeves met her gaze. "Then we push forward. It's all we can do." Days stretched into weeks as the battered fleet limped through the void. Tempers frayed as supplies dwindled. In the Endeavor's mess hall, Reeves found himself mediating yet another argument between human crew members and Talira's Zephyrian scientists. "We should have stayed," a Zephyrian xenobiologist shouted, her tentacles writhing. "The architects offered us transcendence, and you dragged us into this exile." Before Reeves could intervene, Lieutenant Bowman stepped between them. "Back off," he growled. "We all made our choice. Deal with it." The tension was palpable as Reeves called a meeting of the fleet's senior staff. "We need options," he said, looking around the table. "Our current trajectory is unsustainable." Talira's voice was cold. "Perhaps if we hadn't fled like cowards—" "Enough," Reeves cut her off. "What's done is done. We need solutions, not recriminations." A junior officer cleared his throat. "Sir, Astrometrics has detected an anomaly in a nearby nebula cluster. It could be worth investigating." Reeves leaned forward. "Show me." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a swirling mass of gases shot through with strange ripples and eddies. "These distortions," Talira murmured, her scientific curiosity momentarily overriding her resentment. "They're not natural." Reeves nodded. "Agreed. It's the best lead we've got. Plot a course." As they approached the nebula, the fleet's sensors struggled to penetrate the cosmic haze. Suddenly, alarms blared across the Endeavor's bridge. "Massive object dead ahead," the helm officer shouted. The nebula parted, revealing a sight that left the crew speechless. A colossal sphere encompassed an entire star system, its surface a lattice of impossibly intricate machinery. "By all that's holy," Reeves breathed. Talira's eyes were wide. "A Dyson sphere, the engineering required. It's beyond anything we've encountered. Even the architect's ring pales in comparison." As they marveled at the megastructure, a transmission cut through their comms. The language was unlike anything they'd heard before, a symphony of mechanical tones and digital harmonics. Talira worked furiously at her console. "I'm running it through our translation matrix. It's an invitation?" Reeves straightened his uniform. Well then, let's not keep our host waiting. A shuttle carrying Reeves, Talira, and a wary Lieutenant Bowman approached an airlock on the sphere's surface. As they docked, Reeves couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to face a choice as momentous as the one that had driven them to flee known space. The airlock cycled open, revealing a corridor that seemed to stretch into infinity, and waiting for them, a being unlike any they had encountered, a shimmering construct of light and circuitry that pulsed with alien intelligence. "Welcome," it intoned, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "We are the Yangra Yu. We have been waiting for you for a very long time." Reeves stepped forward, acutely aware of the weight of this moment. "I am Commander Ethan Reeves of the Multiversal Union. We come seeking refuge." The Yangra Yu's form rippled. "We know of your flight from the cosmic singularity. We offer you sanctuary within our realm. But such gifts come with a price." Bowman's hand drifted to his sidearm. Talira's eyes narrowed suspiciously. Reeves took a deep breath. "What sort of price?" The being's response sent a chill through the assembled humans and Zephyrians alike. "To join us, you must leave your biological forms behind. Embrace our collective, and the resources of our sphere will be at your disposal." Talira recoiled. "No, this is madness! We rejected one form of false ascension only to be offered another?" Bowman nodded grimly. "Commander, we can't seriously be considering this." But Reeves stood silent, the weight of their dire situation pressing down on him. He knew the choice before him would shape the future of their entire expedition, and perhaps humanity itself.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.